Nation Fitin10, welcome to day 19 of the challenge. I have not put up the calendar yet, but I will put it up today. So stay tuned. I will put it up in Slack as soon as it's up. I'll tag everybody in it, so you guys, hopefully, if your notifications are on, you'll see that. It's just FYI, because Coach Martinez is away right now. I'm probably gonna run the scans on Wednesday and then on a Saturday, because I teach all the classes in the morning and I have some clients. It's really hard for me to get the time in the morning to do the scans. So Wednesday, and then again, I'll probably jump it up to Saturday. So just FYI. One thing I want to mention is I guess there's a couple of you that, or maybe more than a couple of you, that have the non-paid version of MyFitnessPal, which is totally fine, but you're not able to set your percentages exactly on target. If you have the non-paid version, you can only set it up by increments of 5%. And so people are asking, well, how do I keep tab on my macros if I can't set them? And really, what I'm going to suggest that you do is set them as close as you can, which is, you're going to be 2.5% off essentially. Set them as close as you can, and then just watch them throughout the day. All right. Now, obviously, you know that when you're getting close to your percentages, you're getting, very close to where you're supposed to be. So, and because it's only 2.5% off, it's, I give you a margin of actually 10% right now. So, but still, that being said, I want you to get as close as you can, right? Don't give yourself the opportunity to be 10% off. So just put in or keep your macro targets the same as they are, even though they've changed. Remember what your macro targets are. It's just 3 numbers, right? Obviously. And then just keep tabs as you go in and you enter in your food. Go into, just click on your calories at the top, the calories that you've consumed for the day, and your macros should pop up on the next screen, okay? So your macro totals for the day. Salt amount, I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I didn't get into too much detail about salt and why we need it, and I'll save that for another video. But one thing I want to just tell you is when we're talking about, when I mentioned, and this is again a broad amount, 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium, if we're talking about this in terms of, let's use 3,000 milligrams of sodium. If we're talking about this in terms of amount of pink salt is around 30% sodium. So really what we're talking about here is in the neighborhood of about 9 grams of pink salt altogether. That would give you about 3,000 milligrams of pink salt. Okay, so I'll say that again. 9,000 milligrams or 9 grams of pink salt is going to be about 3,000 milligrams of sodium. Okay, and what does that look like in terms of teaspoons? That would be about 2 level teaspoons. 2 level teaspoons. And I'll tell you, in the morning, some of you may know this, so forgive me if I'm just repeating this, but I personally, I do, in addition to electrolytes in the morning, I do also, I'm a bit of a extremist, but I do a level teaspoon of salt in water first thing in the morning with lime and with apple cider vinegar. And as I mentioned, electrolytes. I do that in the morning, every morning, and I have a lot of salt in my diet. Sodium-wise per day, I have at least, and this is I have at least added, if I'm training, in the neighborhood of about 5,000. No, not that much. About 4,000 milligrams of salt. Okay, plus all the regular salt I get in my diet. So, which is, not a lot. If we go back in history, people were consuming 15,000 to 20,000 milligrams of salt. Salt is obviously a preservative for meats. So a lot of foods were preserved in salt, and people's salt consumption was much higher. And, salt is not something to be concerned with. I wouldn't be concerned unless you have some sort of medical ailment that I'm unaware of. If you are a healthy person, if you can regulate sodium normally, as most people can, then don't be consumed with salt. Be consumed with not getting enough salt. Don't be consumed with getting too much salt. Again, it is an essential electrolyte that your body needs. All right, so I will keep saying this and I'll keep reminding you. And the tides are changing, the narrative is changing about this, but it's still out there. People believe salt is somehow bad for you, and I'm not really sure why. Okay, question. There was a question about something. What was that question? Okay, no, sorry. That was just salt. So I talked a little bit about salt. One other thing I just want to mention here is some people are having this Boom Chica popcorn, and it's not bad per se, but it's got a significant amount of sugar added to it. And so I would just suggest, if you're gonna eat popcorn, eat real popcorn and add butter to it. Just eat real popcorn, add salt, nothing wrong with that. Add some salt, add some real butter to it, melted butter, and that would be my suggestion, okay? You can even add some vinegar to it if you like. The Boom Chica popcorn, again, is high in cane sugar. It's also got sunflower oil in it. It's not the best oil to have. Clear, like really it's not. We'll talk about that in another video. Fats, the kinds of fats that I suggest that you eat. Okay, message of the day. You may have heard me say this. You are a recent reflection of your past. You are just a recent, especially physically speaking. All right, so this just comes back to following an eating regime. You are just going to reflect what you've been recently doing. So, there is no such thing as a diet that you follow, lose a bunch of weight, and then you just go back to your regular lifestyle and maintain that weight loss. It's not going to happen, okay? I just got reminded of one thing I want to talk about. I'm going to say it right now. Well, I'll talk about it tomorrow. Don't be consumed with your weight, by the way, okay? Don't be consumed with your weight. If you're not losing weight, I'll talk about this tomorrow. I got a really good example of this. I've got plenty of examples of it, but I got just a recent one actually just from a couple days ago of somebody with a really, really good body comp change. Anyways, I won't get into it, but don't be consumed with your weight. Basically what I'm saying is if you haven't lost weight, even if you gained a pound or two, this does not reflect a lack of fat loss, okay? So I'll talk about that tomorrow. But anyways, you are just a reflection of your past. So we have to keep going with the things that work is my point, right? We have to keep going with these things. We have to set ourselves up with habits, and we have to maintain these habits, which is why I'm calling them habits, right? We've got to keep these lifestyle-based check boxes, so to speak, running every single day, okay? If we expect to maintain our body composition and our health. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.